We're live, and welcome back to another Two Alpha Talk live show. Tonight, we're going to talk to you about some subjects uh, uh, that are pretty good. Emotional people shouldn't have guns. Mind your own business. And new gun owners, don't let the firearm control you.
That was a mouthful.
Now, yeah, wasn't it? Before we get started here, we're going to, our sponsor, who sponsors this show, Saber Team Tactical. And Saber Team Tactical, here's the website. It is a firearms company, and we do firearms training classes. Go ahead and go out.
Yeah, we do training from one-on-one personalized training to group classes. We have handgun, shotgun, rifles, carbines, PCs. We do it all. You want to learn how to defend yourself and your family with a firearm? Come on and check us out. Check out Saber Team Tactical.
And just click on from the home page, just click on classes at the top and click in any of the green boxes. It will give you a self description, and also it will give you the price of the classes down at the bottom. I still need to fix that. I forgot. And we also, if you go back to the home page, it takes us to the online store, which we also do custom engraving, like we do swag for the company itself, and personal engraving. Also sell body armor and tactical gear, and also medical supplies. So check those things out, and and you know we're here for you.
Yep, personalized.
Cool. Right. So tonight's show, let me change this here. Our ticker. Tonight's show. First thing I want to talk about are emotional people. And, and should emotional people have guns? And basically, the emotional type of person we're talking about is an emotional male is a dangerous thing. Emotional male is somebody who can't compartmentalize their anger and uh, have their emotions. They wear them on their sleeves constantly. They're the I feel type of person. They're always crying and in the emotions where something easily that can tick them off or make them irrational, where their feelings get hurt and they can't control themselves. And especially dangerous for males because most of the um, emotional person. That's how most of these guys become active shooters. Most because they become emotional because what's happening to them at school. They're being bullied or they're not in a social hierarchy. And basically, these guys, they's like, when the video games came out, it made them normalize for them to actually say, okay, now I can actually hurt somebody in a video game, so let me do this in real life. So they're using that type of mentality and creating their negative feelings into vengeance on other people.
Yeah,
So,
and when you bring up the video games, it's almost that way where we are currently in Atlanta. It feels just like that. Like people are out here straight up thinking that this is Grand Theft Auto, carjacking, running, you know, driving motorcycles on the wrong side of the road, and the gunplay is unbelievable.
yeah, and it really is unbelievable. It's actually crazy. Then that was just the emotional play on the male side. And we do have a lot of emotional women. Everybody knows women are very emotional.
What?
Yeah,
You went there. You went there. All right, come on. I'll give him this.
yeah, yeah. Let's see, where am I? Like,
There you
I went there.
go.
um,
Early too.
right.
Not mid afternoon. This is gonna be
5
a
minutes.
5 minutes live and unscripted. You forgot that, remember? Live and
I,
unscripted.
I know the haters are going to be hating. I don't really care. And that's just me. Also, too, we also have a call in number 446-920561. And if you want to be on the show, you can call in too. And and also, if you guys chat, we will put your chats on air.
Yep, and you can chat from any platform that you're on. You don't have to chat.
We're on Twitter,
Yep.
Facebook, and no, not Twitter. We're on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. YouTube, 2 Alphas Talk. Twitch, Saber Team 19, and Facebook, Saber Team Tactical LLC. And you can chat on either of those platforms and can get to us, and we will respond back to you. But like I'm saying, women can be emotional, and when that happens, especially some women, they can't control their anger, and they will grab anything around them to go after you.
Right.
And like a knife, a hammer, a baseball bat, and they were trying to hurt you real bad.
Okay, since we're already in this, the statistically, it's with that emotional thing that you mentioned, they like to feel you have the pain. So that's why they like to stab you or hit you with a bat or hit you with a hammer, because they want to feel that you're in pain as well. This is statistics from FBI. Go look it up if you don't believe me. It's been that way for a long time.
Yeah. All right. And it's let's show a video and basically what we're talking about here. And get something up here. And this is something that happened. We live in the state of Georgia, and this is a real shocking incident that took place. And it's when emotion arises, especially when you have vehicles and not just vehicles, but when you have
road rage. All right. So we're talking about road rage, and I think that I'm still on, and maybe Al's having some technical difficulty. So we'll get him back as soon as possible. But we were discussing that. It's in reference to an incident that happened in Georgia, and when we get the audio feedback up, we'll continue with that. But it's a lady who's driving, and I'll try to describe it, a lady driving along.
All right.
You go.
All right, you there? All right.
There I am.
Yeah, there you are. What happened?
Technology. You froze up and it disappeared and came back like magic.
It was me, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see if you guys can hear this real quick.
All right.
Your prototype from just like a static
good
prototype into a fully functioning.
Woman accused tonight of chasing a car full of teens for 15 miles and then shooting a 17-year-old girl in the face. Tracy Amick Pierre has the latest on the suspect, now behind bars, and who she allegedly had in the car with her.
Douglasville police say this started as a case of road rage on Sunday afternoon on this stretch of I-20, with Brittany Griffith allegedly following a car full of teens. Then the teens say she pulled alongside them and opened fire, hitting a 17-year-old girl who survived. One of the other teens snapped a photo of the suspect, which police posted online. Within hours, Griffith turned herself in. She's now facing 8 charges, including aggravated assault and child endangerment, since police say her own 3 children were in her car with her when she opened fire.
Not only were the victims in the vehicle in danger with bullets flying into their car, but any other vehicle in both directions on the interstate. These bullets go a long distance, and it's very dangerous for everybody.
Major Davidson says if you ever find yourself in a situation like this, try to distance yourself, exit the road as soon as you can, and slow down if necessary. Basically, get as far away from the other driver as you can. In Douglasville, I'm Tracy Amick Pierre, 11 Alive News.
There you go. Yep. That's clearly Don't need no DeWalt samples.
That's a classic. You know, Theron makes a good point about carrying a first aid kit in his vehicle, and in a situation like this, you know, it could have helped. You know, especially with
Want me to put that on?
bandages.
Okay.
You know, especially with the bandages. You're talking about a wound to the face, and not many people know how to stop the bleeding from that. You know, a lot of guys are carrying tourniquets, and they, you know, the big campaign to stop the bleed. But you have to go a little step beyond to figuring out how, you know, face wounds and packing the body and not an external or an extremity. It's more than just, you know, the guy just recently, about 8 months ago, he was shooting some rifle and ammunition was messed up or whatever. Basically, he shot himself. You know, the gun exploded and he literally stuck his finger in the hole.
Oh, you're talking about the guy with the 50 caliber? Yeah.
That guy, and he saved himself. You know, because
Right.
you got to be able to think as it goes along. Everything, you know, you may not have everything, or you may have it, and you start to zone out, and you can't remember exactly what to do next. But you have to have the ability to survive. Is what it comes down to.
But you know, those incidents wouldn't even happen if somebody was not allowing themselves to be controlled by
Right.
that.
I mean, you know, an obscene gesture by a kid. This lady was 30-something years old. An obscene gesture by a kid causes you to decide that you want to take their life. You don't deserve to have a firearm.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
They're two different cars.
And seeing that incident, her intent was they followed that person, drove recklessly around them, and then pulled up with her own kids in the car
Right.
and shot at a car full of people. And she clearly saw they were teenagers.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, you know, what are you doing? You know, how can you let your emotions get you that bad, especially in a road rage incident?
But you know something? I'm gonna tie this in, go out left and come back right. This is also part of what's going on in society today, where adults are comparing themselves and equalizing themselves to young people. So instead of taking a high road, you're gonna treat a young person as though they're an adult and step to them in such a way as you're using deadly force. You know, this is where we have to have a hierarchy. And I mean, if you feel that bad about it, get the person's tag and report them to the police. Tell them, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, more than likely nothing's gonna happen, but you never know. You never
Right.
know. If you feel like it's that bad, maybe there's a report out there that you can have that person's license reviewed or something. I don't know, but it's not worth shooting at somebody. And
No.
you're talking about from one car to the next, and there's other cars on the road, just like the reporter said. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, clearly. I think you had something to share too, right? Got something here?
No, I got a commercial. I don't want to give you a commercial, but I can explain it.
Okay.
Two old men get into an argument in front of a liquor store. 163, 161. Doesn't matter who did what. The one of them shot the other one dead over an argument. Over an argument. And you know, when you're in the street, you gotta understand that money is kind of like the cream, cash rules everything around me. So it's at a certain level, you have to pay your dues, right? But when it comes to taking somebody's life over an argument, even if that person owed the money, that's not how it works, you know, because this is not the Second Amendment, and this is one of the reasons why I was wanted to talk about this topic. That a lot of these issues that the gun grabbers are using, they're using it in a big collective. These are not people who are proponents of the Second Amendment. These are opponents. People who do things like this, I don't give a damn if they had a clean record prior to this. These are people who are causing people who don't like guns to say, hey, this is why we need to take away all guns.
Right,
Because of actions
Right.
like this.
right.
Who does she defend on this? Whose rights were offended on this? La 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 la, all the way down the road.
Right, because the first thing they're gonna say, if she didn't have access to that gun, she wouldn't have been able to do that. Right.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
I was out with a guy today, and he said that his one of his family members, not a blood relative, but an in-law type relation, said that she doesn't like ARs. She doesn't think anybody should have an AR-15. And this is what we were training with today. And I was like, wow. And you
Oh,
can
you
see,
serious?
yeah, he was really kind of like, like, wow, he didn't know how to take that. And it was like, I guess the comment was out of the blue. So he just basically was kind of, going over that in his mind, like, that she actually said that. And here we are, you know, cardboard warrior stuff. No intentions on going on an assault on taking somebody's sovereign country. Just whoa. Just basically looking at things in a perspective of marksmanship and self-defense of his home, and that's it. And this is a family, a relative in his house that says something like that.
So he actually owned one. He was,
Oh yeah,
oh, he owned one.
he
And they
owned
said
one.
that to him. Right.
And it was specific to him because his family are hunters. They hunt a lot.
Wow.
And this person, it's okay to hunt, Bambi, but don't defend your house with AR.
Right, right. Yeah, and see, that's the start. They come with the AR first, and they're gonna come with everything else.
Exactly.
Yeah, you never let them have anything. You know?
And that's goes back to some of the things that you always say is don't give them an inch. You don't want no compromise.
No, no. You give them anything, they're gonna take it. And you can, and as anybody who's a firearms owner or a firearms collector or just average sports shooter, you can never give up any gun rights that we have in the books today that goes against the Second Amendment. Because once you do, in your state, in your city, or wherever you are, you'll never get those rights back. They will never come back. Yeah.
So in that vein that you just mentioned there, just to touch on something we talked about in the previous episode, is the constitutional carry. As you just said, we'll never get it back, but yet here we are today getting something, and I don't like when I hear myself say getting it. It's ours. It was always ours.
Right.
It's been the right has been loosened up to almost be able to fly free.
Right. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I really love it. We know there's a couple of states that won't do it, California, New York, and a couple of the other states who are anti-gun. But there's a lot of states that are growing. Like I said, we have 25, and it continues to grow. The state we're in, the state of Georgia, the constitutional carry law is you can carry a firearm concealed. You can't carry it open, okay? But you cannot also be a felon. And this has nothing to do with purchasing firearms. If you're going to purchase a firearm, you still have to do a background check. So, right. So that's for our state.
Or have a weapons carry license.
Oh, I have a weapons carry license.
And then you're exempt, but you still have to fill out the 4473.
Now, speaking of that, it was some groups was talking about some groups was talking about. I'm a caveat over that because I don't want to let them go. I'm not going to mention any names. I'm just going to clarify that this person from this group, and it starts with an A, and they had the nerve to say that they did not. They said they wasn't against the constitutional carry law. We reviewed the tape, and what is true. They did not say they were against the constitutional carry law, but they did. The constitutional carry law did not provide training. Now, in the state we live in, the state of Georgia, we do not have a concealed carry license. We have a weapons license. That means I can carry any weapon on my body with this license concealed, okay, or openly. If I want to carry a broadsword or a chainsaw or a battle axe, I can do it, as long as I have that license. So, with that, we do not in this state require you to have training to show marksmanship to carry a firearm because it's not a concealed carry license. It's a weapons license.
Right.
So if we had classes, that means I got to go take classes for every knife I carry, pepper spray, and all this other stuff. I mean, it's silly.
And who would be the judge of your proficiency?
That's right. Right. So for everybody who's clamoring on the high horse that you need to have training to carry a firearm, maybe so. But if you don't, there's been people who have been killed for years without having any types of firearms training at all. So it's good to
Well,
be
think about
proficient.
this. Look at England, right? They had that knife moratorium, and they had boxes where you could turn knives in if you know, so inclined to do so, and they still have a high rate of murder,
Murder,
and
yeah.
violence by knife.
Stabbings, right, by knives.
So
So
the crazy people and the same people we started off with, the emotional people, if they decided they're going to hurt you, they're going to find a way to hurt you, whether they drive a car, run up on you. There's one recently, another emotional one. I'll see if I can find that one. And with the young girl, basically is attacked by a car, a driver.
oh yeah. I remember that one. It was I think it was a road rage incident too.
Yeah.
Something similar. And the girl got it was a fender bender. They got into an accident. So
Yep.
the other person got out the car to go confront the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And no firearm was involved. The person drove
That's
them
why
down,
I'm bringing it up. Yep.
ran over them, backed up, back and forth. That car was a deadly weapon at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Broke her neck, broke her shoulder, arm, and some other stuff. And
Hit her multiple times. The lady kept trying to get out of the way.
right, and drove. Well, she didn't try to get out of the way that fast. I mean, she just kicked them heels
No,
off.
she did.
It was
Dude,
rough.
she got pinned
No, I
up
watched
against
the
the
video,
wall.
man. She was
Man, I don't know what kind of. What do you think she was? A superhero?
no. I'm just saying. I mean, she wasn't moving enough. You know, and look at these guys. And so it was very interesting. And I don't think she just moved enough, you know. And for my taste, people got to fight for their lives a little bit more, you know. I have no idea. They'll never get on there. They don't realize I control it. So you always have your trolls that come into these sites and thinking they're going to get on here and mess with your live stream, but not realizing the live stream is controlled. It's so funny. But yeah, anyway, but nobody's talking about banning that car.
Right.
What just happened?
Dude, it blanked out. I think when you started testing that guy and who's got the control, he wanted to let you know he has some control too.
Oh, okay. I guess so. I don't know. And
Crazy.
yeah. So yeah, it's very weird. And so that's basically goes into people need to mind their own business. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Don't if you get in a road rage incident, and because I have to drive downtown a lot, and people drive kind of crazy and stuff, and they usually veer their cars over into my lane. I blow my horn at them, but I don't say anything else to them after that. You know, I just let them know, hey, I don't want you to hit my car. I don't pull up beside of them and be like, flipping them off and looking at them strange. It's really, only thing I want to do is make sure they don't roll their window down and try to engage me negatively. And once I see, the incident's been corrected, their bad driving's been corrected, then I go ahead and move on. It's really not a big deal to me. And yeah. So I don't do anything I don't try to drive crazy. I don't drive reckless. I don't, be flipping people off or whatever. And because the reason being, because I know what I'm capable of. I know what I have. And I know I can put myself in danger or somebody else's life in danger. And I don't want to give up my rights and go to jail either. So, right.
But beyond that, it's even if you're proven innocent or you're proven not guilty, should I say, at that point you done exhausted a lot of time in your life and a lot of resources, money and stress through your family. So it's not necessary. There's some things that you have to think about. Even when you're driving, you got to put those things in front of you. As somebody cut you off, is it worth it? just drop back. I drop back. I got cut off today a couple times. I just drop back. I let them go. Go ahead, you got
Right.
it. I used to flash my lights to let them know that I ain't want no. Nope, you got it, bro.
Right.
Sister, brother, whoever you are, you got it. I don't give a
Right.
damn. Don't
Right.
care.
It's not worth it. No. Now I did have one incident that happened about 4 years ago, where I blew my horn at a person and told us, because they were stopped and the police was there, was stopped on the side, and they stopped their car completely to look at the incident. So I blew my horn, right? So as I go up and pass them, they pulled next to me and rolled. It was a female, and got emotional. Pulled her window down and started yelling at me, "Yeah, you son of a gun," and all this other stuff, right? And so I just rolled my window back up, kept on driving. Then all of a sudden, pulled next to me again, then getting it back, flashing light, doing all this other stuff. So I said, you know what? I picked up my flashlight and I shined it. You remember my bigger flashlight?
Mm-hmm.
And I shined the flashlight at her, and she slammed on the brakes and turned around. I guess she thought I had a firearm with a flashlight on.
Right.
You know?
And not only that thing was probably about at least 1,500 lumens.
Oh yeah, it
You
was.
might have burned her retinas.
But it worked. I mean, because I was like, this lady's gonna follow me all the way home. I was within a mile and a half from my house. So I was like, what are you doing? And it was other people in the car with her, so she wasn't by herself. And I was like,
that's the strange thing, because a lot of these situations, like that one with the crazy lady with the kids in the car, she went and got a manicure, got her nails done right after that.
like it was nothing.
Right, like you just shot at somebody and it doesn't have any effect on you. And now I can't tell you if she saw the after effect or the results of what happened, but at the same time, that's not cool. I mean,
Right.
She had no intention of reporting that to the police at all.
No.
And that's what I'm talking about when you mentioned earlier about referencing to these video games. That's the kind of mentality you have if you're inside an alternate universe where you just shoot somebody and go on about your business. It's not television. This is not a movie. This is all about, hey, accountability. The bottom line is accountability, and that's what we're lacking in all three of these comments. And then the next one is the same thing, because you got somebody new. It kind of goes back to what you were saying. This next topic is going to go touch on the gentleman that we both had a discussion about earlier, who said, no, I didn't say that, but yet you want everybody to fall in line and have a certain proficiency in order to be armed, and that's not the case in this state. Should be in the country.
Right, and I didn't finish that. I'm glad you walked that back, because I didn't finish that when I got booted off the air real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But the person's now saying that they didn't say that. They didn't say it, but they did say, like I said, they wanted some training with the bill. Not happy with the bill that the bill is passed. The group is nothing more than a social group who's turned into some type of training group. However, they're acting like they support the Second Amendment. My not recommendation to them, but my
Your challenge
challenge to them is to support and endorse a bill that's going to be for the Second Amendment that comes up in our state of Georgia, or in support a candidate who supports the Second Amendment. Because I have a funny feeling they're going to support a candidate and endorse a candidate who's going to be anti-gun, and that's coming up here in this May. So or in November, one of the two, and it's very interesting. We're going to take a short break real quick. We're not going anywhere, but we're just going to do a quick sponsor advertisement and go back into real quick. Hold on. All right, so we just want to share with you guys again. Safety Team Tactical sorry, tactical firearms company. And if you go into type in saberteamtactical.com, I'm having a whole bunch of internet issues today. Bunch of internet issues. Am I still on the air?
Yeah, you still here? I got you.
Okay, let me pull this out.
Rick Foy from Twitch says, "Good show."
All right, thank you, Rick. Thank you, Rick. And give me a call later on tonight. All right, let me pull this back up. All right, we got some classes coming up here, and I got this pulled up. Share it. I'm having internet streaming problems tonight. I gotta check my my router out tonight, make sure everything's running right. All right, here we go. First classes we have up. You want to talk about them now?
Oh yeah, so we have one-on-one, we have private training, we have customized training. If you wanted to, yes, certain situation, low left in particular, we can help you out with that. We can get you back on target.
You say low left? Yeah.
Low left, you know, a lot of people.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Low left issues.
Low left.
Yeah, we can centerize that.
First class we got coming up is in June 4th. And that is a basic firearms training self-defense class. And that class is $150. And it is, how long is that class?
That's a 4-hour class.
4-hour class. And it basically gets you right if you, first time gun owner, I haven't fired a firearm in a while. Al is also our lead instructor.
Yeah, thank you for the endorsement.
He's our lead instructor, very good instructor, excellent firearms instructor. And the next class in June 19th is the shotgun and self-defense class. So if you have a shotgun you just bought, and you want to describe that class, talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, we go over the basic fundamentals of the shotgun, sighting, patterning, things like that, and then we also loading, multiple target arrays, chambering, depending on whether it's a pump shotgun or semi-automatic, we do both. Different loading types, from what we call a ready gun situation where, maybe you're storing the gun and you want to have a ready ammunition in the magazine tube, but nothing in the chamber, so that way you can get that gun into action as soon as you need it, but not necessarily keep it loaded sitting in a corner or a closet somewhere.
Yep, there you go. And we'll see you guys in the range on that one. Yep. So let's get back into the show. Got to put old Rick up here. Rick, there you go. Rick Foy, good show, brothers. All right, thank you, Rick. Thank you for the support. And what we got here, Al, to your point, we had an Atlanta officer who flashed his light at a vehicle that cut him off. The passenger crawled out the window and fired 12 rounds. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yep. Jesus Christ. Wow. Oh, so the passenger crawled out the window. Now I get it. Crawled out the window, hung on the door, and set up and fired 12 rounds. Yeah.
I'm telling you, as Tim just brought up, this sounds like people that are living their fantasy of Mad Max or...
No. What's that game?
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto.
I don't want to run that one into the ground, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know many video games, but that one's one of the popular ones, and I'd see people are just doing things that are like unbelievable.
Crazy.
I mean, reckless, and if anybody who's watching knows a more callous word than reckless, please let me know, because I mean that's just wanton disregard for human life. Not only your own, which I think is the biggest problem. A lot of these people don't care if they live or die, so they do stupid.
Oh, you know what? I think you're wrong. I think they care if they live or die. However, because you've probably seen this when you locked up a few people, when they don't realize what they've done until they got them cuffs on and throw them in.
Yeah. I think when what you're saying, and I'm gonna have my moment right now, the degenerate lifestyle is like that because they think everybody lives this way, and that this is okay and it's acceptable, and it's not. It's not. When you have a mentality of, depravity all the time, that you think that everybody's just as depraved as you are.
Right. So then it comes down to all these new gun owners we have. I mean, it's like 16 million or something like that now.
Yeah, it's a huge number and growing daily.
Yeah, and it's still growing, and everybody has a gun. So what a lot of people have to realize is when you own a gun, you have a lot of power in your control. You got the control of life or death in your hand. Not only your own, because you can take something out on yourself, but on others, the innocent. And so you got to look at yourself like, I have all this power. Don't be like Thanos. When Thanos had all that power, what Thanos wanted to do, he wanted to wipe everybody out. And so you can't say, okay, when I get emotional and somebody road rages me, the first thing I'm going to do is go to this tool I have right here, this firearm, and say, I'm going to use this to solve my problem. I mean, that's not the way to do it. I mean, you cannot let this thing control you, because usually the younger generation usually do this a lot. And like I said, here we go. People are watching too many rap videos, movies, video games, and really take what they watch as reality. Yep, they sure do. Until the bullets start flying or when somebody shoots back. Yep. You can look at that as these housewife shows. What was the first thing when those housewife shows came out? All the women want to act like them now.
Right.
All wanted to look like them.
Yep. And it was, and the first thing is violence. And one of the things I've always said is that there's a need for conflict negotiations with our young people throughout the system, not just elementary school, but also somewhere in maybe the middle 2 years of high school, to continue that, because that's the only way you're going to stop this. When people are not talking to one another and disagree, this is what you get. Because the gun in this day and age is modern technology, and this is how you have a solution to a problem. It's a deadly solution. But I see these young people, and I don't think that they're all maniacs and maniacal. What I think was happening is, if they get into a fight today and they get into a fight tomorrow, that they're going to finalize this fight, never going to have a fight again, and they're killing people. Never have to worry about that person again.
They won't never have to worry about them again, but they also have to worry about themselves being
right.
free.
But they don't think what you just said. They don't think of those consequences until those consequences are laid on top of their head, and then they say, "Oh wow, Then you have all the family members that come forward and tell you how great he was. He was about to get his life together. He was a good boy. He had a kind heart, but nobody ever saw his kind heart except for his mother.
Right. Yeah. And just hide the pictures that he had on Facebook where he's showing up with himself with firearms.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just don't show those. But a lot of new gun owners got to realize the power they have, and how to control that power is to get trained.
Yep.
Take a class,
learn the law.
Learn the law, and there's several law classes that's going on around a lot of these ranges, where they have a lot of these law classes are free, and if you're a member of SHIELD or USCCA, even NRA. They have these classes that come around, and a lot of your local gun stores and gun ranges have the local law enforcement come down and talk to you about what would happen if you use your firearm incorrectly. What's that?
Just Google it, bro.
Google it.
If you don't like Google, any other web search, you can find the training. If you can't find the training and you're still looking for it, there's plenty of lawyers out there that'll give you some advice. Not only that, but you can read it for yourself if all else fails. When you go to a training, those people break it down and give you examples of what they're speaking about in real life. yourself, you get an understanding, an idea of what you can and can't do. The other thing that I like to propose to new gun owners is to remember that that gun is not a force field. It doesn't protect you. You still have to be aware of what's going on around you. Because that's the thing. If you can understand that there's an argument brewing and it's getting to a point where people are getting hostile, somebody needs to break off. The same way we teach break and cover, you have to break from that argument. You have to get away from it. The only way you can stop is to separate.
I'm gonna say this particularly directly at males. Do not let your ego take the best of you. Your ego, you gotta take your ego and take it out of the argument and just walk away. You know?
And it's hard to do. It's really
Right.
hard to do. It's not an easy task to do because nobody wants to be the first one to let down. You know, especially if you had a spirited argument and you think your point is exact, that's cool. But at some point, you have to just, and when it gets to the point where you're frustrated and you're starting to anger and you feel you're clenching up or you're feeling hot, you're starting to break out in those cold sweats. Yeah, it's time to.
It's time to go, and don't let your family intimidate you. You may have family members with you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let your ego get the best of you, where I gotta prove myself in front of my family.
Right.
Walk away because you may lose this incident, and now your family's going to watch something tragic.
Yep.
So,
No, I had a debate just recently with a gentleman, a total stranger, and he said he didn't think that the new Georgia carry or the new constitutional carry was a good law. And I was like, okay, well, explain to me why. And he said, as the gentleman from the other organization said, he thinks there needs to be somewhere we need to show proficiency. So I asked him first thing, I said, well, where are you from? And he's from Arizona, but he's a Georgia resident now. And I said, well, this is not Arizona. It's a free state, yada, yada, yada. We go back and forth. But we had a good resolution at the end. He said, hey, you know what? This is the first time that I spoke to somebody that had your opinion that I didn't curse out or we wound up in an argument. And I said, because I don't take it personal. And two, what I say is backed by fact. And all I asked you was to give me some facts. He kept telling me that in his state, when you the statistics go down when people are trained and armed and they show proficiency. Show me where that's written. Show me some facts. I said, go ahead. You got a phone in your hand. He had his. He actually had an Apple phone. I said, you got an Apple? Go ahead. Show me where that is.
Pull it up.
One fact. I said one chart with some information that based what you just said is true. One.
he couldn't prove it.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
exactly. Right.
I told him, I said, it's not a matter of a good guy with a gun or anything like that. Somebody interceding on the behalf of somebody else. It's the individual's ability to defend himself. That's the key.
Right.
Because HR 218, I saw a couple of guys that are on here that I know are either police officers now or retired officers. HR 218, signed by President Bush, allows police officers to carry across the nation, right? That was like a precursor to what we talk in constitutional carry.
Now, precursor to reciprocity.
That too, but that allowed. It was designed to have the good guy with a gun all over the place. Well, officers from all over being able to carry. That is a good help, but you can't depend on somebody else coming to the rescue of you. You follow me? That's my point. It's like that's why it's imperative upon every person that owns a gun, especially new people, to find a qualified firearms trainer. We'd love to have your business, but if you can find somebody, hell, if your Uncle Bill is still aware and has some updated techniques, learn from him. That's what this is all about. That's why that's what I explained to this gentleman. I said, that's why there's no mandate, because you may have somebody in your family that's competent enough to teach you how to use a firearm proficiently. And what is proficient? I said to him, what is going to be proficient? And then on top of that, do we allow the government to tell us what the proficiency rate is? So now I got to go find one of these guys to come follow me and watch me on the line and say I'm.
And they may say it's not good enough. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
That was my point. That's what I told him. You know, I said, now you have to be subjected to, did you qualify or didn't you qualify? And I said, now how many years are we going to do that? Some states, they do it every year.
Right.
And that's just to wear their citizens out to say, forget it, I don't want to do that no more.
Right, and then now they got to pay a fee for that. And so, what's the purpose of having constitutional carry if now you just added more compound fees to this thing? Well, now I got to do training, I got to buy training ammunition, I got to pay for a certification. It's going to cost you just as much as just to go ahead and get the license.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
in my case, that's exactly what it is. I mean, I have always told people, of all the presidents that I have lived under or lived during their administration,
yeah,
Bush was
Woodrow Wilson was one of them, right?
Oh, don't start that, because I actually know Tim, and he has some really good jokes, and you just gave him a lot of ammunition with that one. President Bush was somebody that actually did something that directly affected me. I don't know, was about maybe 7 of them, and that president actually, that bill, H.R. 218, which is the law enforcement, I lost the name.
Reciprocity bill, right?
That
So you
sounds
can carry across state lines, right?
You can carry all over in contiguous United States. That directly affected me. Nothing else has ever affected me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. So new gunners also not only being proficient in training. Yeah, we say what is proficient? Proficient is, to me, proficiency is, can you load it, unload it, and handle it in a safe way? You know, and there you go, there you go, there you go. Al's a great shot with a flint.
We shall return. We shall return. The Philippines.
Right, flintlock.
Next year
Oh
we're
my
going back
God.
to get the Philippines. I tell you that
Right.
now.
Right. Well, probably. Too bad they didn't have guns back in the Roman Empire, did they?
Nope. I had a sharp sword.
Right. So proficiency for me is somebody handling a gun safely. Don't point in the muzzle all over the place, muzzling themselves, muzzling other people. Keeping your fingers off the trigger and not treating the firearm as a toy, but with respect. And it doesn't really come down to shooting, because anybody can shoot if you have the will. It's because it's just pulling the trigger. And but can you safely handle this firearm? Can you unload it? Can you load it? Can you operate it without hurting yourself or others?
So for you, basically, proficiency is just the basics.
Yes.
Okay. So I think that's a low bar, right? Because what you just said, most of our indoor gun ranges in the state would probably have to close because.
Well, I'm thinking your average indigenous. If I can take a firearm and give it to somebody who's never seen one before, and get out there and teach you how to fight with this thing, you know what I'm saying? And then that's where I'm getting at.
You just mentioned something, and I was leaning and I was listening, and I was let me finish your full train of thought. And one of the things you said was anybody can shoot, and you're absolutely right. So it's a difference between fighting with a gun and shooting a gun.
Yes,
Right.
right.
And that's one of the things we always say. So
Right.
in that aspect, when a person has the right to carry a gun, we're not really talking about fighting with a gun at this point, right? That's the difference. To carrying a gun. I listened to a report just sometime today in the car, and the guy said, all these people are buying guns so that they can feel comfortable and safe. And it's like, you're taking an object and allowing it to make you feel safe, but yet you'd not put anything into preparing or training yourself to use that implement to defend yourself. That's the key, is the ability to defend yourself, not just to feel safe to say I have a gun, because the bad guy is going to have a gun as well. You have to have the willingness and the preparedness to win and prevail in a gunfight. And that's it. That's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the difference. One of the things that you say when we're doing this discussions and we're also doing the promos is the passion. That's the difference between me and the next guy. Is the passion that I have. There was a young man that I was with today, and one of the things he was just kept going, wow. And I was, what's up? He said, man, you really know your stuff. I said, this is a lifestyle, not a hobby. And when I hit him with that, he said, that's the difference. And I said, what's the difference? He said, a lot of the guys that he's, looked at to train with locally, he said, it's a hobby for them. And I said, yeah. I said, it's not a hobby. I said, there's plenty of activities that one can do. You can lose your life. But in this one mistake and you can lose not only your life, but if it's anything short of that, you can lose a limb. You can hurt someone else. This is not a game. It's not a hobby.
No.
You want a hobby, collect coins.
Right. Exactly. What you just said, yeah, it rings a lot of bells, and which is also funny. I think we're gonna call her real quick. Hold on. All right. Hey, there you go, Wayman. All right, are you hearing me, Al?
Not yet.
Hold on. Al, can you hear me?
Not yet.
Okay, I don't think we can hear you in the studio. Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Nope, don't hear anything.
Okay, yeah, I hear you, but he can't hear you. Let me see. I'm working the switchboard real quick. Can you hear me, sis? I'm having some connection issues. I'm not going to be able to get you on the air. Hold on. Let me try one more thing. And let me hold on. Stand by.
It's the goodness of live.
This is the goodness of live. We do it live. Yep, we do it live.
Unscripted.
All right, it's active. I'm going to unpair it and pair it back up and see if that makes a difference. And, all right, stand by. I'm pulling you back in. Yeah, I can hear you well on my end, but the audience won't be able to hear you. Yeah.
Tim says that he tried to call in as well, and it says the number is not. What did they say? The number.
Oh, it was a problem. Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's in the stream coming from YouTube.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm having technical issues on this end. Hold on. One more time.
You should feed those mice.
Probably my router needs to be updated when I get internet issues like that.
The generator's slowing down. Those guys are tired.
Yeah. I'm not gonna. Let's see. Hold on one more time. My Bluetooth is not even connecting right now. It's very weird.
Yeah.
This is very, very
full
weird.
moon outside too, or something.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me get it up. Come on, baby. Come on. Yeah. The number is not active tonight. One more time. Yeah, my whole switchboard is acting crazy right now. It's like I got a power hit or something. The switchboard is not even want to act right. It's very strange. Yeah, I can't get you on air.
Sorry about that, man.
All right, sorry, man. All right.
Yeah, I can hear him through the handset, but not through the system.
Yeah, it's not coming through the system.
Just the volume, man.
Yeah, it won't pair for some reason. I unpaired it and it won't even pair back up. Probably need to be rebooted. When I shut it down, my whole audio system goes down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you try to call in, the number is not in service. And that's funny because it's a Google number. And he just called in on the Google number. So, so I don't know what that's all about. So he'll probably connect now. He's not on the line.
Of course.
Yeah. But as we were saying,
Yep.
that's just one of those things. Now, Bluetooth is not even showing from the Rodecaster into the system of my phone at all.
Mm.
So, yeah, something's going on. Probably need to refresh the phone or something.
But to tie it all in, you know,
Mhm.
one of the things we've said in the past is to mind your business, and it's not a bad thing to mind your business. It's not like, you know, if you see somebody in distress, to keep on walking by or take out your phone and videotape it for the next viral video. That's not what
Right.
we're saying. We're talking about when it's something one-on-one and you're starting to see things not go smoothly. It's time to move on.
Uh-huh.
You see somebody in distress, you know, this is a civil society. We try to help one another as much as we can. You know, how far you extend your net for the next person is up to you. But at the same time, you know, holding the door for somebody, some common, simple civilities that we should pass on to one another. Say hi to somebody that sees you,
Helping the elderly, opening the door for the elderly, giving the elderly a seat on the bus.
Exactly.
Things, you know, just act of
Simple
kindness.
things. Right.
Right.
That's the thing. You know, we're not saying things that, you know, mind your business to become some, you know, aloof, arrogant person that just has no concern for the next human being. That's not it. You know, I think the last time we did it, people were taking it a little too extreme. But in this situation, what we're looking at is just, you know, certain times somebody cut you off, drop back, let them go. You know, somebody zipping in and out of traffic and you see them in the rearview mirror. Maintain your speed because they've already predicted you to be in a certain place at a time. You try to get out of their way, you could cause an accident. And not necessarily you being the cause, but that other vehicle that's the idiot is going to probably misjudge and hit you.
Yeah. So, you know, basically just be in your Zen moment. And if they want to get out of their Zen moment and attack you, if you're in your car, drive away. As long as they don't corner you or start, you know, putting firearms, start shooting at you. And then you got to be very careful of that because you can't be shooting wildly because you can hit somebody else.
Right.
So be
Would
sure
you,
your
would you
target.
advocate somebody returning fire if they get shot at?
No, because it's a case by case scenario. No, I would not.
You know, I spoke to a guy who was that I haven't seen him for probably 20 years, and it was in a training event that I met him there. So we're really not friendly, but I recognized him. And he's Navy SEAL. He's a Navy SEAL trainer. He was in the service for 30 some odd years. And chit chatting with him, and he was telling me about the last time we had seen each other. He was working with those the snipers that made the shot on those Somalis, and he was just talking about how he had worked on a package from what's it called? He said, you correct the words if I use them wrong. Ground to water or ground to water shot, and then water to ground shot or something like that. And then
Oh yeah.
then they had to train them in water to water shot, taking the shot from water to water. And he said, and that was the one that was the most tedious because both platforms are moving. But you know, he was very happy in the results. And not only was he happy in the results, he was explaining that there was a simultaneous shot, which is also, you know, like a lot of high-level training. So I bring that up to say that when you start looking at things with, you got vehicles moving, these guys are at the highest level of, not even marksmanship, you know, beyond that. Not only is it marksmanship, but it's mathematics, it's science, all of that combined to put a
But
shot.
they're professionals.
That's my point.
They're professionals.
That's my point. You're talking about a professional
Right.
who's trained, and then they're trained even more and more and more to make this one-time shot. And you think you're going to return fire on a moving car?
No.
Well, you're
There's
driving.
no way. No way.
It's not television. People see these stupid things on television in these movies, and they believe they can replicate it. You can't. You're driving a vehicle these movies are shot in scenes. If you haven't figured it out yet,
Mhm.
it's shot in scenes, and they're shot with specialists driving the vehicle. So your favorite actor is not that guy holding the wheel when no shots let off.
Right.
I'm sorry, I have to help these people out. I'm here to help.
Well, I didn't here to help you.
We'll see.
Right. I'm gonna try something real quick. You know, I don't know. My whole switchboard went down. I don't know. It's not even showing the Bluetooth is not even coming up. So my switchboard needs to be restarted. So it's not the phone. It's the switchboard. All right. So with that, we had another excellent show. We want to tell everybody here to thank you for stopping in for comments. And we'll get all these technical issues knocked out by next week, hopefully. And we did get the audio technical issue knocked out. We know what's going on with there, so I got to contact these guys and figure out why that happened. And if you guys, there you go, right there. You Al, my brother.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's my man Reggie. He did a good job today.
All right,
Outstanding,
appreciate it.
Outstanding.
Appreciate it, Reggie. And we'll see you guys in the range. And,
Yes, sir. We'll definitely.
hopefully, we'll see you in one of these classes.
Yep.
All right. And
All right, guys.
thank you
Take
for
care.
stopping
Thank
by.
you.
All right, bye.